The headline: Bauchi Jigawa States record 44 deaths, over 300 cases of diphtheria. Troops burst gun factory in Kaduna State, recover weapons and combat gears. Benue Governorship Tribunal upholds Alia's election. Away from Nigeria, Niger junta slams UN chief for General Assembly obstruction. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. We start with health. The Bauchi State government says diphtheria disease has killed no fewer than 34, while the state has recorded 296 suspected cases, despite the state's surveillance response efforts. The executive chairman of the state's Primary Health Care Development Agency, Ruwanu Muhammad, disclosed this to Adamu Imam while speaking to the prevalence of diphtheria cases across the state. The report.
The Primary Health Care Boss explained that 11 local government areas have confirmed the outbreak of the disease with 8 new cases. He says health workers are still collecting samples for the suspected cases, while those confirmed are receiving treatment at the designated centers in Jama'are local council area.
Now, government decided that we should also look at the state that the infection is coming up, outbreak is coming. So that's why we selected another 10 states, 10 local government that we're going to carry out work. And that is coming in the next 3 weeks. We are gathering information. We are doing macro planning and macro census to see how many children we are going to vaccinate so that we'll be able to get them vaccinated.
Mohammed maintained that one of the major setbacks is the rejection of vaccination by people, adding that vaccines reduce chances of being infected.
There's no reason why people will not accept this vaccination, because it's not polio where they suspected that they put something like infertility, but this one is that people rejected the vaccination because of selfish interests.
He also disclosed that the federal government and other health partners are working to arrest further spread of the disease in the affected local government areas, noting that awareness campaign on the disease is ongoing in the other 9 local councils areas of the state. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Meanwhile, the Jigawa State Ministry of Health has confirmed the death of 10 people suspected to have died of diphtheria disease, which has been recorded in 14 local government areas in the state. The permanent secretary in the ministry, Salisu Muazu, made the confirmation while fielding questions from newsmen in his office. Muazu explained that so far, said 2 cases had been confirmed at Kazauri and Jahun local government, as some samples have been taken to Abuja for confirmation. According to him, the epidemic had been recorded at areas with 0 dose of routine immunization in the affected local government areas in the state. Maazu noted that the ministry had already conducted investigation and collected necessary information and data in the affected areas and updated the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, the NPHTA, and National Disease Control, the NDC, for further actions. In security, the troops of Operation Safe Haven have uncovered a gun manufacturing factory in Kafanchan, Jemaah local government area of Kaduna State. The discovery followed a week-long intelligence operation that finally led to the capture of a wanted gun runner, Napoleon John, who has been on the wanted list of the OPSH. According to the spokesperson of the operation, Captain Oya James, the suspect who confessed to the crime led troops to a concealed factory where arms of different caliber were sold by another miscreant identified as Monday Dunia. Dunia also confessed to have been in the business for more than 5 years, fueling the crisis in Kaduna and neighboring Plateau states. He said a thorough search of the factory led to the recovery of 22 different weapons, including 7 pistols, 2 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 2 military-grade AK-47 rifles, and 9 revolvers, among other weapons. No fewer than 20 suspected kidnappers have been arrested and paraded by the police in Taraba State. This follows intelligence gathering and the public outcry on the nefarious activities of criminal elements, which mandated the command to launch a serious manhunt on the criminals hibernating in some identified hotspots within the state. This following intelligence gathering and public outcry, of course, now parading the suspects before the newsmen at the command's headquarters in Jalingo. The police public relations officer Abdullahi Usman revealed that the suspects have all confessed to committing the crime, as operatives recovered 3 AK-47 rifles and a fabricated pump-action gun. According to him, the suspects have collected over 30 million naira as ransom from their victims' family. The suspects confessed that they belong to a gang of armed robbers and kidnappers terrorizing Donga, Bali, and Takum local government area axis. Meanwhile, the troops of 103 Rare Battalion of 82 Division Nigerian Army, presently on Operation Udoka 2, had rescued one Maxwell Ayim between Four Corner Agbogwe Junction in Udi local government area of Enugu State. This was contained in a statement issued in Enugu on Saturday by Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Unuakalu, the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, 82 Division Nigerian Army. Unuakalu said Ayim was rescued unhurt on Thursday. According to him, the rescue operations was conducted when troops deployed at Udi checkpoint received a distress call from the police on the incident. Unuakalu said on arrival, the troops came in contact with the kidnappers, adding that due to the troops' superior fire, members of the criminal gang fled in disarray with gunshot wounds into the nearby bushes. The army spokesman said the gallant troops, during further exploitation of the gang withdrawal routes, found the victim abandoned by the gang. Borno State Police Command has arrested one Dauda Musa, a repentant Boko Haram member who allegedly killed his ex-wife in Borno State. The command's public relations officer, ASP Sanika Milusha Tambaya, who paraded the suspect before newsmen, said that he was arrested after the police declared the suspect wanted. It was guided that the suspect killed the divorced wife after he caught her with another man who is alleged to be her boyfriend. He killed and buried her in a shallow grave. Still on security, the Niger State Police Command has apprehended 5 suspects in possession of a human skull for alleged money rituals. They were arrested along the Mina-Bida Road in the state. Initially, it was reported that 2 of the suspects, Isa Muhammad, 26, and Idris Muhammad, 28, both from Sakpe village in Edati local government area, were caught with a skull wrapped in a bag by a sister security agency during a routine patrol. The 2 suspects were later handed over to the State Police Area Command in Bida for further investigation. During questioning, they revealed the names of 3 others who assisted them in exhuming a corpse and removing the head. Confirming the incident in Mina, the State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Wasiu Abiodun, stated that the suspects were intercepted in a Mitsubishi Lancer vehicle by a sister security agency at the toll gate along Bidda Mina while searching the passengers on September 11, 2023. The additional suspects include Ibrahim Jia, 18, Suleiman Usman, 22, and Abdullahi Usman, 24, all of the same location. The Benue State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Makurdi has upheld the election of Governor Hyacinth Alia of the All Progressive Congress, the APC. The tribunal dismissed the petition of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and its governorship candidate, Titus Uba, challenging the election held on the March 18th for lack of jurisdiction to entertain the matter. The chairman of the three-man panel of justices, Justice Ibrahim Karaye, held that the tribunal has no jurisdiction to entertain the petition as the matters raised before the tribunal are pre-election issues as captured in Section 285 of the Electoral Act. The tribunal hinged its decision on the fact that a petitioner ought to have pursued its case of non-qualification and the nomination of Governor Alia by the APC and the allegation of forged certificates and false information on Form EC9 against his deputy, Sam Ode, before the Independent National Electoral Commission, the INEC, beyond the Federal High Court, which dismissed the earlier suit filed by the petition to the Court of Appeal and not the tribunal. The rising cost of stationery items is taking a toll on students in Benue State. Jimmy Adzande, who spoke to a cross-section of students in Makurdi, the state capital, reports that the development is negatively impacting academic activities of the students. The report.
Essentially, pen and paper are the most useful items the students require for their academic pursuit. In recent months, the cost of these items have multiplied. That's according to the respondents.
As a student, before a photocopy, one copy was 10 naira. Then, when you take like 5 copies to a cafe to photocopy your work, it will just cost you 15 naira. But now, 5 copies is up to 250 naira. So, as a student, it's not easy for us to endure this.
Price of commodities in school, especially the writing materials, have gone up, and it's not very comfortable with us students. Imagine our parents send money; they are not aware of the price of the increase in prices, and they send the regular money they send to us. But going to the market to buy things, imagine I went to the market day before yesterday, I'll meet and today I'll meet a different price entirely.
The price hike, they said, is not unconnected with the subsidy removal by the federal government.
Over time, due to this increase in the prices of things, fuel subsidy removal, which we call cost of energy, increase in cost of energy, there has been over 100% increase in the prices of materials. As students, for pens, bigs were 50 naira, now is 100 naira. Books rise from 40 leaves was 100 naira, now is 200 naira, 60 leaves, like that.
The multiplier effect is reflecting on related goods and services, making it difficult for most of the students.
And also in rent, there's also a tremendous increase in the amount to pay for rentage, because even the landlords, they'll have to go to the market, and because of the rise in prices, they have to charge such a way that they'll be able to have that which they demand. And so the rise in prices have so much reduced the cost of living for students, and to the extent that it even affects their academic performances.
They are calling on the Benue State government to intervene, as some students are already contemplating abandoning studies because of the current economic crisis. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we will take a look at social experiment on couples splitting bills. This and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Bauchi, Jigawa states record 44 deaths, over 300 cases of diphtheria. And troops bust gun factory in Kaduna State, recover weapons, combat gears. Moving on to more stories, the residents of Imo State, especially those living in Nazi or Owerri North local government area, have decried the poor status of most roads within the local government. They are lamenting what they described as insensitivity on the part of the government, despite several attempts to draw their attention to the menace. Ajibade Awufeso tells us more in this report.
This is what has become of the Naze Obibiezena Road, which has become a nightmare to motorists, especially residents and business owners. This has continued unabated with no effort from the government to salvage the situation. Businesses are being crippled due to the inaccessibility of the road as the residents narrate their ordeal.
It's a shame that we're in a country like this. We're not just happy. This road has been in this condition for the past many, let me say 5-6 years, if I'm not mistaken.
I see that the business here has collapsed already. Even some people that are living here, many of them have backed out.
We the people living around this area, we find this very difficult to move. We are asking for the government to come to help us.
There's a major market here called Oriobibi, and that market is a central market. Almost everybody from different, even some people from outside the state, they do come here. But due to this road, this is the major road that leads to that place. We've been unable to access the road.
Dealers of perishable food items are now experiencing low patronage and running at a loss. This woman is one of them, and this is what she has to say.
Passing through here, they neither look for an alternative road. You understand? So the sea is really affecting us. The sales, they turn up, it's nothing to write home about.
Others who spoke lamented the poor style of governance in the area and expressed total dissatisfaction with the non-functionality of local government council that should have brought government to the grassroots. They are therefore demanding an urgent change from the status quo.
What we are expecting from them is the dividend of democracy.
There is no local government in the state that is functional now. For now, the allocation is controlled by the state executive, and they do whatever or choose to do whatever they like with it.
The call is coming in the wake of the electioneering activities, with the APC seeking re-election But the special advisor to the governor on political matters, Enyenaya Onwebu, while reacting to the matter, exonerates the governor.
I tell you, it will be very uncharitable for anybody resident at Naze to complain about poor road network. Because one of the first routes done by this government is the road that moves from Naze to Nekede Polytechnic. We remember when we took office that road was flooded, was impassable. Today that road is a dual carriageway. So we'll all urge them to be a little more patient and the road will be done.
With the numerous campaign promises from various political parties in the governorship race, nothing will gladden the hearts of the residents other than a successful election of the right candidate that will offer them good governance. Ajibade Awofeso, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Minister of Transportation said Saeed Al-Ghali is not happy with the slow pace of Port Harcourt to Maiduguri narrow gauge railway project being handled by Chinese contractors, the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation. The minister expressed his anger on Friday while inspecting the project site in Port Harcourt alongside top officials of the ministry, who also observed firsthand the state of affairs at the project site in Oyibo community in Rivers State. The 2,044.1 kilometer Port Harcourt Maiduguri Eastern Narrow Gauge contract was signed on 16th November 2020 with a completion period of 36 months. The minister, however, assured Nigerians that the ministry would take decisive decision or action to address the shortcomings and enforce the relevant sections of the contract agreement.
I'm not happy, not only not happy, I'm disappointed. When I came where they are laying the rail lines, you can see they are using manual alignment to align the sleepers. At this century, during this era of technology, I felt if you are not ready for something, you don't even start it. The funding was meant of 15% to be provided by the federal government, while 85% to be provided by CCECC. So far since the project started, the funding is only done with the federal government component of the 15%. So that shows how serious the CCECC are in terms of Port Harcourt reconstruction and rehabilitation program. That will promote regional trading. Cost of trading will be very low. By the time we have started the passenger train, it will go a long way to cushion the effect of petroleum subsidy withdrawal.
Marital life requires resources to sustain, and the man shoulders the responsibilities to cater for the need of the family. But nowadays, couples split their bills equally against the age-long cultural practice. Trust TV's Bello Musa speaks to a cross-section of Kaduna residents who shared their experience on the concept of joint account by the couples. The report.
In African culture, husband is the head and the provider of the needs of the family. Against the spirit of this culture and the tradition, couples now jointly work to cater for the family needs due to many reasons. Some Kaduna residents express their views on the splitting of bills in the matrimonial homes.
Once you have a joint account in the family, which is maybe you are funding the account and your husband too is funding the account, you can use the money to do some emergency. In terms of emergency, like maybe your children are sick, you might use the money to take them to the hospital and the rest. I think it's a good idea and I can do that.
Yes, couples buying things together, sharing responsibilities within the family is a good thing. In fact, it's a sign of unity amongst the family.
The issue of a joint account is something that is happening in the Western world, not in our culture here. In our culture, we have seen it a man be the head of the family, a man be the owner of the account, a man be the ones paying the bills in the house, a man be the one paying for the food we eat in the house, not a woman be the one paying for the bills of the house, pay for the food we are eating in the house, except the man is capacitated, the man is sick.
In the olden days, during our own time, we do everything with our couple. Like our wife, we can do whatever we like, say, so see this, because we have good thinking during that time. But as at now, life has changed.
Though joint account creates stability and strengthens the bonds of union between couples, this comes often with disadvantage.
But it has its own disadvantage because some of us are entangled with our culture, which permits us to have one or more wives. What if I build my home with my husband and build a house together, and later he comes up that he wants to get married? Will I allow him come bring the woman to my house? No.
I am a clear testimony. I did that with my wife. We are still together. But unfortunately, you know, once there is a discord, once there is disagreement, it affects even the account you tend to develop as a result, with a view, to take care of the problem that will emerge, you know, within the family.
Okay, let's come to that aspect. And this woman want to assist her mother. They say, only my mother needs some money. I want to take from that account. I want to send to my mother. The husband will spring up the same idea. Only my mother equally need money. I want to take from that account and send to my mother.
Many say it is against the African culture to allow women fend for the family. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Away from Nigeria, Niger's coup leaders on Friday accused the head of the United Nations of obstructing their participation in the body's General Assembly, saying it was likely to undermine any efforts to end the crisis in our country. Negotiations to restore civilian rule have yet to bear fruit, with the junta demanding a 3-year transition and the Economic Community of West African States, the ECOWAS, calling for the immediate return of the democratically elected Bazoum. The coup has also been strongly criticized by Western governments and global bodies such as the UN, which is holding its General Assembly of World Leaders in New York this week. In a news release read on public television, the military said UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres went astray in the exercise of his mission by obstructing Niger's full participation in the 78th session of the UN General Assembly. It criticized what it called the perfidious actions of the UN leader, adding that they were likely to undermine any effort to end the crisis in our country. Bakari Yao Sangare, who before the coup was Niger's ambassador to the UN and is now its foreign minister, was the new leader's chosen representative for the gathering. Finally, in sports, midfielder Wilfred Ndidi says he remains committed to Leicester City despite constant rumors linking him with a move away from the club. The midfielder was linked with a move away from the King Power Stadium this summer following the Foxes' relegation to the Sky Bet Championship last season. Ndidi, however, opted to stay at the club despite tempting offers from Saudi Arabia and Turkey. The 26-year-old said the thought of leaving the former Premier League champions never crossed his mind. The Nigerian also expressed satisfaction with the work of new manager Enzo Maresca. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across our social media platform. You can join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.